Good morning, this is President Ann Diener. Donald Trump is legally and lawfully deposed since August 8th of 2017, and Donald Trump stole 2016. His entire administration actually stole election 2016. And we know how they stole it. They used cross-check, micro-targeting, and Diebold, and they invited the Russian oligarchs in to bankrupt us, but we keep our gold standard and our money back. I was working really hard over the weekend to get it delivered to the American people. So there was a lot of back and forth about what it's for, and it was scary stuff. But today, Pompeo wanted to attack China, and Sanders and I both came out against it. And luckily, Navy took my opinion on it. And it turned out also then they rallied with they tried with the Bush sanctions. Again, everyone's heard a long time ago the Bush sanctions. And I was looking for a video on it. It needs to be taken seriously, and these issues need to be brought forth to the media. It was asked by someone here, how come the American people don't know that they're being cheated? It's because no one ever sees them on trial. No one sees Bush and Cheney ask questions about how they steal from the American people. They call it their means and mechanism this morning, and it's been identified basically with the data I gathered on Ukraine, where Cheney ordered killings over there in order to steal business. And they went in full force into Ukraine to steal from the government there. As a team, it was a collective team effort to steal from the government of Ukraine. Also, with China, the minute they started with the tensions and it cooled down, once it cooled down, that's when Bush went in for the money. They go in there and then they sanction. The tariffs were supposed to be against companies that Trump did not like, and that he didn't want it to be successful in business, and they were already successful. Rather than competing with Alibaba, he wanted to tariff them. He could compete with them if American kids were smart enough and had their own IT platform for new developers here in our country, but yet he is not smart enough to run a business that way or our country that way. It is an inability to govern our country because they want to make money behind the scenes. Our stole 2016ers that are still in are all about how much money can they earn on the back end and profit in their pocket. And then I thought, okay, somebody said, oh, Dick Cheney's getting paid. I mean, how would he get paid? Why would he get paid? To steal from us? It's the same old, same old. You cause an incident, there's a response to curtail it, then they go ahead and try to profiteer it. And that's what American people need to see. They need to see Dick Cheney ask questions on TV. How did you steal $840 trillion from us? The American people want to know how they stole the money. It was found out over here. I was at the beach yesterday. It was a beautiful Sunday, and I was out at the beach. And it was nice to put my feet in the water until I noticed the water was brown. And then I came home and I found out, I suspect some mainline sewage pipes. And it was strange because I drove down to Carlsbad afterwards and smelled raw sewage. How did the raw sewage happen? I guess somebody decided they wanted to break main lines. And they're the same group that said they wouldn't pay for repairs in buildings. It's like when people do things, you have to pay for it. It's, you can't expect to over and over profiteer on the public and expect not to get called out. And that's the American public's responsibility, is to call our leadership out. I provided my testimony in earnest, and I became the President of the United States behind the scenes, and I am prepared to preside over the War Crimes Tribunal and to assist with adjudication of the war criminals. And that is what I was hired to do. And today we should, finally, stop just taking my opinions and performing on them, but start charging the war criminals. It's time for them to go on trial publicly, on TV, and be asked questions. So, Dick Cheney, when you went into Ukraine and you had Victoria Nuland shoot the far right, how much business were you transacting in the background, and what sorts of government resources were you utilizing? We, the American public, deserve to know when our resources are used to put money in their pockets. That was 2013. How much have they made since then? Here, Dick Cheney came in with his overhead heating and with his directed energy weapons and devalued our state of California. Was he ever charged for any of his devaluing? Does anyone sue Dick Cheney? What are we doing sitting here? We're letting the war criminals run our world rather than us running our world without the war criminals. They deserve to be publicly tried and put on TV, charged with their war crimes that they also conduct here illegally on American soil. It is illegal, in my opinion, to use directed energy weapons to devalue people, American homeowners, for their real estate. Did that happen to cause the land grab, a housing bubble that they knew in advance was going to happen? All the while, Donald Trump's team and Mike Pence was broken-hearted about not making money on his rentals. They stole 2016, and they shouldn't have had rentals. They shouldn't have had property at all. The assets should never have happened. But Deposal went through. They tried to say, oh, she's a background player. She doesn't deserve to be the president or serve our country. So we'll just let them launder drug money. So they did have rentals, and Pence did not know that they were setting everybody up. And that Trump fails at business. Here it was said, what's going to happen when Trump goes bankrupt, like he always does? Oh, he'll just go and borrow money. And see, these administration officials who had their rentals, they thought they were going to cash in big time when there's too much housing. The problem is that the commander-in-chief received a bag of cocaine every day while the same Russian handler sat over my house laundering drug money. And that was the problem. It was reported, and those same individuals continue to sit here with their chirpers. I'm prepared to serve for our war crimes tribunal, and I'm prepared to participate in earnest as the president I became. I work hard for our country. I would love to be part of the next administration, either the Justin Amash or the Bernie Sanders, or if he wins, Biden, but Biden needs to be included in our tribunal. Biden was invited into Ukraine by Victoria Nuland, and he knew his son profited from the oil and gas, and those contracts need to be adjudicated professionally before a TV viewing audience. We cannot have our candidates running for the 2020 election. 2016 was stolen from the voters. Hillary Clinton stole the primary from Bernie Sanders through the superdelegates and through oligarch pressuring. And Sanders needed to come clean. He needed to stand up, but it's very hard to stand up with these agency guys. This agency guy over here, the guy who killed JFK, he participated likely in the main line breaking down. And sometimes these guys are good guys in their opinion. But in my opinion, they belong on trial because they have stolen from the American people now since 2000. They planned on stealing from you. People protect you. I've protected America since 2001, if not before, when I found out about the Chinese computing. And we know that's based now on CRM, and that CRM is actually, it's foreign. It's not here. It's not from sources we know of. But anyway, it's basically designed to control humans. And so our government has invested resources into taking down those who wanted to harm you. And those investigations need to continue, including arraigning other individuals tied to them. And I sent a case over to New York, and God willing, they pressed charges against the counterfeiting being done here with a machine. So this morning, at least we curtailed the issues with China, but we need to look at what's going to happen with the tariffs. Are they going to tariff certain businesses so that Pompeo's team can profit on others? They stole election 2016. They need to be treated as war criminals if they do something like that. Every single thing they do in the media needs to be questioned, because this administration has been the most bribed, profiteering administration of all time. They saw the voter as gullible because of the rah, rah, rah of Donald Trump. And in reality, there were real Republican candidates such as Joe Walsh and now Justin Amash who need to come forward and actually run for the White House. And they need to run them out, in my opinion. Actually, we need to run them on TV in a tribunal format. How much bribery has Mr. Pompeo accepted or delivered? Were there bribes paid for cocaine money down in South America? Did they start in Colombia? We need to know about the cocaine transactions, and we need to put an end to cocaine transactions and cocaine trafficking conducted by Bush officials. And that can be shut down before 2020. We have no reason to have drug money laundering going on through Les Wexner and through the individuals who operate the machines and the tape recorders here. They have been outed, they're on flyers, and I feel it's rude for the Department of Defense to take advantage of me and not pay me. I contribute work every single day and not pay me and not relieve me of duty from these criminals here by putting them on trial. We're ready for that trial on TV. And so that those individuals who are here who wonder why don't Americans know that they're being cheated? Well, we'll help to make them aware. Have a good day. And I'm at home. My home, I live in Vista, California, and I'm easy to find. I have put hundreds of thousands of dollars into my investigation. Have a good day.